that most men live lives of quiet desperation. It's one of my favorite quotes ever because it's true. You're just in this world where you just can't wait to just run away. But I think one of the reasons why these people have this deep-seated anger and resentment is there's a bunch of people out there that have these lives that are deeply unsatisfying. Because I think there are so many people that are working all day long doing something that is deeply unsatisfying and almost painful.
Yeah, soul killing.
Soul killing.
Yeah.
They're stuck in traffic all day, and then they're stuck in a cubicle after that. They relish the time to take a shit in the bathroom and look at their phone. I mean, they literally do that. That's a highlight of someone's day. They get in traffic on the way home. They get home after that, they're watching television, and they're f***ed. If people have a regular day job, if you could just find one thing that you do as a passion project and just keep building on it, just keep watering it, keep adding fertilizer, keep giving it attention, keep giving it focus, and you can escape. You can escape, and you can be self-serving. You could be okay. You're gonna be okay. Making furniture feels good. If you make furniture for a living, and you feel a great satisfaction out of that, and you sell that furniture, look, man, if you can do that, you could cut those corners perfectly and sand everything down nice and stain it, and then it's done, and you get this satisfaction, and you sell it to someone, and that pays your bills. That is infinitely more satisfying than being stuck in some fucking cubicle working for someone that you don't want to work for, having to have these stupid fucking office meetings, talking to people in human resources, sitting down with your supervisor where they evaluate your job performance, and you're not really, you really need to be enthusiastic about this company. This company is your future. This kind of you're like, fuck, kill me now. There's a lot of people out there that would way rather do something else, and I hope they understand that they can. And people that are trapped in bad situations, one of the problems is you feel like this is your future. You feel like you're fucked and you can't get out of that. There's no hope. There's no light at the end of the tunnel. There's no rainbow. And if you feel like that, that alone can be incredibly defining and limiting. But if you look at yourself objectively and say, okay, I kind of am fucked here. I'm in credit card debt. I'm working in a shitty job. I don't like what I'm doing, but I have some ideas. I need to feed those fucking ideas. And I need to feed them and water them, and I need to set aside a certain amount of time every day to just try to make those things happen. You can do that. Everyone has a different personality. They have different interests, different things that they would be really satisfied pursuing. That's not encouraged. What's encouraged is go find a job. What's encouraged is go find some place that you can shove yourself into. Go find a square hole that you can stick your round peg and just jam it in there and shave down the top and the bottom so you slide in with all this extra space on the sides and feel like shit for the rest of your life because you need a job, because you're in debt, because you have credit cards, because you have student loans, because that's what everybody does. And so you do it too. That's what's wrong. You have an apartment you have to pay for. You have a car you leased. You have a wife that you have to feed. You have a child you have to raise. You have your mortgage. You have your this. You have your that. And that's where it all comes from. Well, the opportunity takes place usually when you're young and you don't have any responsibility. That's when you have your options. Well, your options are severely limited the more you gather responsibilities. Like if I had to, as a 51-year-old father of 3, married man, pays taxes, has a house and a mortgage and a business and all that jazz. If I had to quit everything now and struggle the way I struggled as a stand-up comedian, it would never work. But the only way I could be this person now is if I took that chance when I was 21, when I was dead broke and had my cars repossessed and all that stuff. That's the only way you ever get where you want to go. You have to take a path that's dangerous. And most people want to take the safe path. And the safe path leaves you stuck in quiet desperation. Almost every time. It's hell. It's hell.
But can people just make that change? I mean,
yes,
look,
you can,
I believe they
but
can.
you have to plan it out. The way you can change is you have to put aside enough money to give yourself a window. And then you have to have a plan. And you have to spend all your waking hours outside of whatever shit job you do planning your escape. And you have to come to the realization very clearly that you f***ed up and you got yourself stuck. So whatever you're doing, you have to do it like your life depends on it. And whether it is you're trying to be an author, and if you're gonna try to be an author and you're working 8 hours a day plus commuting plus family responsibilities or whatever else you have, whatever time that you have to attack like you're trying to save the world. You're trying to save your life. You don't want to drown. That 1.5 hours a day that you have to write, God damn, you better be caffeinated and motivated. You got to go. You got to get after it. And you got to have discipline. Most people don't have those things. Most people don't understand what it's like to really go for something. And to know that the consequences of not doing that are horrific. I think here's an important thing too. Failure is important.
It is important.
I think failure teaches you things that you don't learn from success. I think failure gives you an opportunity for self-examination and also gives you a feeling that is very uncomfortable. And that very uncomfortable feeling helps you grow. That when you feel like you screw something up, like when I've had bad podcasts, my podcast has always gotten better afterwards. When I've had bad stand-up sets, I've always gotten better after that, because those bad sets motivate you. They give you a perspective like, hey, here's some clear examples of where you f***ed up.
Yeah, what not to do.
Yeah, don't look at these failures as like proof that you suck. Look at them as opportunities for growth. Look at them as opportunities to be motivated to do better. You have to make mistakes. You've been there, you feel it, you understand what it is, and then you have that time to adjust. That's why losing in life is so important. Whether it's getting dumped, getting fired, losing a game, loss. Those feelings where things didn't work out your way, that's important, because it lets you know this is the bad feeling that comes when it goes wrong, and you improve, and then it makes the good feelings of victory all the better. And I mean that, in a relative sense, like even getting good at something. Forget about victory, like making a terrible book that gets rejected by every publisher and then writing a really good one and people accept it and you're like, fuck, I got better. Yes. Like that's feeling.
Interesting, yeah.
Those feelings of failure are really critical for your motivation. You see an old person walking down the street, you go, oh, that person's always been an old person. No, that was a baby. That was a baby that became a 90-year-old man. There's a progression that you're not witness to. You don't see it. And that takes place in everything. It takes place in authors. It takes place in comedians and musicians. There is a starting point, and then with time and focus, and as long as you reevaluate and reassess and constantly objectively look at what you're doing and then pursue it with passion and focus, you get better at things. Don't be scared of failure. I think failure is awesome for you.
How's it going, guys? Well, Saturday night, Tuesday, 2 days back to the gym. Feeling pretty mellow. Feeling pretty damn good. Surprisingly good. Better than good. What leads me to this video. I've been like really open with my drug use, whether it be cocaine or steroids. For the very simple reason is they help. They fucking help. And it's too bad that a lot of drugs are illegal. Because there's definitely illegal drugs that help, but there's definitely a lot of legal drugs that cause a lot of harm too. So why should cocaine and steroids be any different? I'm not going to discuss cocaine during this video. I'm going to discuss steroids. Anabolic steroids, androgenic anabolic steroids, and there's it's a huge class of drugs, right? There's a lot of different ones, and that's the problem. We're very fortunate here in Canada. It's kind of like a gray area. You're allowed to, if I'm not mistaken, the law is you're allowed to have it personally, but you're not allowed to sell it, right? Something like that. I can really, I can make the case. I can see how someone can make the case for hard drugs, keeping them illegal just due to you know, the argument is if you make it illegal, everyone's gonna fucking OD, and you know, of course, there's gonna be that period of time, but that's only prevalent because there's a lack of education surrounding it, right? Same thing for anabolic steroids. You know, they're illegal in the states. If they were legal, that would open up. Whenever something is legal, you open the doors for more studies. You know, because a lot easier for scientists and that to get grants to do clinical studies and trials on stuff that's legal. No one's gonna invest money into doing studies on people for something that's illegal. It just doesn't work that way, right? Just my experience with drugs has really taught me that lesson. Used properly, used in the right way, using them the best what they're intended for. Drugs are a great thing when they're used for your benefit. You know, I can't. When the gym shut down, like how would I? Bodybuilding. I don't know if saving my life is the right word, but I don't know what I would do without it. I don't know what I'd do without it. I really don't. It provides so much benefit to my life. And so does the drugs that I use with that. You know, there's people, you know, that talk about the side effects. No one really knows the long-term side effects. You know, liver cancer, kidney failures, and stuff like that. You know, I really believe, you know, that, like anything else, you're sensitive to something, you're going to react bad to something. It's just, that's your genetic makeup, right? It's not for you, not, you know, it's just like someone's allergic to fucking peanuts, someone's allergic to strawberries. It's why people who don't smoke get fucking lung cancer. You know, it's that whole thing. But for the few people that doesn't react badly to something, it'd be nice to have proper education about those substances and how they can benefit and enhance your life. You know, do I think about the long-term effects of steroid use right now? No, I don't. Why? Because it improves the quality of my life so much right now. I don't get a lot of side effects from the compounds that I use. I know if I start seeing some negative side effects, I will drop back my dosage. It's just a no-brainer. I'm not concerned about long-term side effects because it's improving the quality of my life now. To be really perfectly honest with you, I want my quality of life over the next 30 years to be good. You know, I'm not too concerned about my quality of life after fucking 80. You know, I've lived 80 fucking years. You know, I want my next 30 to be the best and the healthiest that I can. I want to feel the best. I want to, whether it be mentally, physically. Steroids get such a bad rap. You know, when COVID hit, you know, and gym shut down, you know, really fucked my shit up, you know, because that's the core of my life. Everything's around that. Now more so that I'm going to go all in on it and try and focus and try and make some kind of income with my future with that. So now it's even more part of my life than ever before. But when the gym shut down, and I couldn't train at the gym, I only trained at home. I didn't think it didn't really make sense to me to continue using anabolic steroids. It just didn't. Like I'm not destroying my muscles to the point where I need these steroids for recovery, right? My thought process was, well, I'll just continue the TRT dosages with just the testosterone at 250 milligrams a week. It should keep my mental health fine. It should be enough till the gym opens. And through working at home and mental health, it should be enough, right? It should be enough. So I discontinued everything for 6 months. I don't think I'll ever do that again. From a mood, mental standpoint, it's hard. It's hard to say because I was dealing with a lot of shit during COVID that I needed to deal with. So my mind went to some pretty fucking crazy places. But generally, I would say my mood was good. Staying on TRT. Dropping the steroids, I didn't go into no fucking depression that you hear. That's usually because their testosterone drops off the charts, right? But I kept the TRT part of that going. I just stopped the anabolic use. And I will never do that again. One in particular type of steroid called decadurabolin. One of the benefits of steroid is it helps with joints. And some of you may know, I was involved in a fucking massive car accident, and that's fucking a lot of injuries. Both my legs were shattered, my arm was broken, rib cage was destroyed, new hip, so, but once I discontinued the DECA, I started noticing a change after about a month and a half. Like, my joints were sore, my hands everything was sore, it was aching, I was having problems recovering from my workouts. Like, it was just, I felt 50. I felt like a 50-year-old man, well, 50 in 2 weeks. Like, I really felt the difference being off, and it wasn't that I didn't feel unhealthy, I just felt old, even my skin didn't look right, didn't look healthy. I didn't have this abundance energy. I had it, like, I still worked out at home and I trained hard at home, obviously, because I kept most of my size, but I'm just saying overall, not having the DECA, it made a huge difference. It's just as far as my joint health and everything. Sure, there's things you could take for your joints. Was it fucking, what is that stuff there? That Lakota shit. Glucosamine? Is that what it is? I don't know. All I'm telling you is nothing works better than fucking decadurabolin. I have no problems in the winter. Nothing. And the great thing about it is, it just does so many good things for your body. But it's like use and abuse, right? There's you can use a little bit of DECA or you can use a lot of DECA, right? I don't know what abusive dosage is. All I know is the benefits of the steroid. It just made my body feel great. As far as like other anabolics that I use, like D-bol or Anadrol or Tren, like for right now, like using the steroids, training really hard, it just, your body just works better. It just feels better. It just, I don't even know how else to describe it. You know, every 50-year-old man should be using steroids as far as I'm concerned. And I know a lot of them are now. I know it's becoming really, really trendy in the States. You know, they're opening up clinics like crazy. You know, they're starting to fall into this a category now of for health for men, right? It's so even though they're illegal, these clinics can set up for men's health, which is, I think, is fucking fantastic. I think it's fabulous. A lot of men are benefiting from it. But if you've looked into some of those things, it's pretty fucking expensive. Consultations, the blood work, it'll set you back a few grand. Now, I don't know what they're charging at the clinic for the steroids. I don't know what they're charging, like for a 30 ml 10cc bottle of testosterone. I don't know what they're charging for that. I can tell you what you can pay for that on the black market, which is $70. Now, mind you, the clinics you're probably getting, I would think, pharmaceutical grade. But when it comes to pharmaceutical grade, there's a lot of steroids that are not made by pharmacies anymore. They're made by underground labs, right? Sometimes I think to myself, I wonder if the supplement company, I think like pharmaceutical companies own supplements, right? You know, bodybuilding supplements, like all that kind of vitamins, all that shit together, right? You know, sometimes I wonder if pharmaceutical companies lobby for steroids to continue to be illegal. You know, because they just help you. There's steroids that they help prepare your body, help you use your nutrition, the way your nutrition is absorbed and used in your body, uses that more efficiently. I'm not going to try and get too out of my wheelhouse here because I'm not like super articulate when it comes to this. Like I can read stuff on this subject and I understand it, but to regurgitate what I read, you know, the science and all that, I'm far from, that's beyond my skill level. All I can tell you is just how I feel and what it does. You know, I don't have any problems with erections. You know, some men have problems with erections, but you know what? I guess my point being, you know, if all these fucking drugs were legal, then scientists would be able to study them, and we'd get more, you know, more information and of the benefits and dosages and long-term effects and side effects, and you know, they could, you know, maybe design a better steroid, a safer steroid, or you know, like, you guys get my point, right? Just bothers me. Just bothers me. That's why I'm so open. Because it's just like, I think the shirt was a birthday present last year. First time I've worn it. I thought maybe it made me look more, what's the word I'm looking for? I'm not professional, but less manic making a video because, you know, more serious. I want to look more serious for this video. I think that's what I was going for. But that's it. People are just always told through the media that steroids are bad, right? And sure, yeah, there's people. There's people that I'm sure have died from steroid use. But I think it's more. Sure, abuse is one thing, but I think it's also a genetic predisposition to it as well, right? It's just the way it goes. But I just think about how many hundreds of thousands of middle-aged men that could benefit from this. Of course, kids shouldn't be messing with it. Well, kids. I mean, I'm talking about like 18 and over. That's a different kind of a subject. Because then you're talking into cycling, the science of cycling on and off. There's more risk because maybe your testosterone doesn't ever turn back on. If someone wants to become a professional bodybuilder, if they're not doing it, if they're not seriously considering it from 18 to 24, that's kind of the window where they like progressed to that point genetically, naturally. From that point, they take the steroids to become reach their genetic potential. So they hit their genetic potential like in their 30s and 35s, whatever. I'm not sure where I was going with that, but I'm really excited about what's happening in Portland. All the drugs being decriminalized. I can see Canada heading that direction. But definitely, you definitely can see the other side of it. How a lot of people are going to misuse these drugs and they're going to have a lot of problems. But wouldn't it be the same thing as anything else? You go to the pharmacist to buy these drugs. They give you the info on the drug, right? So at the end of the day, it's either you follow the fucking recommended advice or not. I don't know what they would say for cocaine, but they have a toxicity limit, or I don't know. What would that look like if that was legal? And you went to a fucking pharmacy and you bought a ball of cocaine or a couple grams of heroin. How would that work? I don't know. It'd be interesting though. Maybe that's why they want to legalize it. Too much logistics to change that over.